The power of the dead man, center of the ring. Tombstone pile driver.
Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on those notifications. And once you're done, leave a comment down below and I just might end up responding. The WWE uploads a bucket fuck loads of content, which is kind of ironic because they can hardly even string together a goddamn wrestling match on Monday Night Raw these days. His New Japan diss, oh man. Well look, just like all forms of entertainment and really all forms of anything in life, mistakes get made. People slip, nails fall out of doors, tugboats crash into something. Look man, shite happens, but for some sick reason, people like me exist, and we tend to find enjoyment in the sorrow of others. Aren't we terrible? I'm D Wicket, and these are 10 embarrassing recent WWE bloopers. Number 10, The Miz. Here's a moment I feel the need to place at number 10 because honestly, I might be getting worked here. Let's look at it like a botch though. If that's true and this was just a slip up, then absolute props to both The Miz and Drew McIntyre for not skipping a single beat afterwards and smoothing out the rest of this match absolutely perfect. Well done you guys. A+, 2 thumbs up, golden star, the rainbow. I don't know. Now here's the thing though that gets me a little bit curious. Miz already had a match earlier in the night, so him being off his game would make sense if it was going to be intentional. And also, Corey Graves was so damn prepared for that slip. Like the second it happened, it seemed really pre-planned. Now, to contrarianize that, Corey's really good at his job and would be the guy who's prepared for a botch in the ring. WWE's usually bland with this stuff though, and you'd expect it to lead to the match's finish, as that's what happens any time something unexpected happens in the ring. Seriously, if it's not a slip up and it's something you haven't seen before, it's probably the end of the match. That's how WWE works. Also, Shane's reaction looks pretty damn genuine, and he's not exactly a good actor, so final verdict, this is probably a botch, and if so, exceedingly well handled.
To have a Drew McIntyre, to have an Elias get in the way so he doesn't have to deal with the Miz himself. Oh no, wait a minute. Look at that, Miz got overzealous and paid for it.
Number 9, Natalya. Natty is infamously one of the biggest sweethearts in the whole business, so naturally, even when she's playing a heel, she's only going so far with it. A guy like Kevin Owens would revel in and take advantage of a moment like slapping your opponent so hard you can't feel your own hand anymore. Natty, not so much. After a vicious slap to Ruby Riott, who I guess is babyface? Sure, why not? After a vicious slap to supposed Face's face, the Hart family member immediately grabbed Ruby's face just to make sure that she was actually alright, while the camera was still directly on her. Seriously, you guys cut every fucking second and a half during in-ring action, but you leave the camera on for this.
You wanna mess with my family, bitch?
Oh!
Number 8, Jeff Hardy. While Jeff is one of the most beloved professional wrestlers perhaps of all time, he's not exactly the biggest of professionals. He's a pretty good worker, is solid enough in the ring, but it's pretty obvious that he achieved his legend status through a difficult mix of charisma and throwing himself off of really tall places. Because of that, he's garnered a bit of a reputation to botch a move here and there. Case in point, this match with Eric Young. After an attempt to hit Twist of Fate went almost perfectly wrong, we were treated to a Michael Cole classic through the lips of Tom Phillips. No, Tom. It's not that he couldn't get all of it, it's that he barely fucking got any of it.
Slides through. Now Jeff Hardy thinking about the Twist of Fate early. Oh! And Jeff Hardy couldn't get all of it there. No, he got a little bit of it.
Number 7, Brie Bella. In an unfortunate case of ring rust, the Bellas' 2018 return revolving around a Nikki versus Ronda Rousey feud was overall incredibly lackluster and unfortunately filled with a good couple hiccups. There were those 2 weeks in a row where she completely missed a suicide dive and nearly killed her own neck, but even worse was the time she nearly shattered Liv Morgan's face with a wild knee gone wrong. I mean, seriously. She just fucking slams that thing right into her nose. How did Liv Morgan not get some kind of injury off of this?
To Brie, while you're out walking the red carpet this weekend, we're on the road causing chaos in every town we hit, and if you cared to be here...
Here's the cover.
Number 6, Kane. Well, maybe this one wasn't so much the fault of Kane as it was Shawn Michaels. Wait a minute. Wait, Shawn Michaels? That can only mean one terrible thing, folks. We're headed to Saudi Arabia. Whichever of the last year's two stupid fucking Saudi shows, whichever one had DX versus the Brothers of Destruction, a match I didn't watch, and for goddamn good reason. You would know that if you watched it. It was a 30-minute plotting waste of space, and I'm always going to be upset about Shawn Michaels not just staying retired. However, at least he knocked off Kane's mask during the match. I mean, why did Kane fall to the floor hiding his face? Like we don't know what he looks like. He's a goddamn mayor. Like, it's not a secret anymore. We saw his face 16 years ago. What are you doing, Kane?
Right to the ribs. And now Kane. Shawn Michaels hit Kane so hard.
To the ribs.
Number 5, Titus ONeil. You know something, between all the botches on this list and all the shit-headed Vince McMahon's way for Saudi Arabia even having affiliation with this company to begin with, and his terrible treatment of employees and just being Vince McMahon, I'd really like to take a second to just sit back, breathe in a little, Goldust style, relax a little bit, and appreciate some of the more lightheartedness that professional wrestling can bring even when things go poorly. So, in order to bring the WWE Champ's power of positivity to watch WWE, I give you the only good thing to ever happen in Saudi Arabia. God bless you, Titus ONeil, you excellent yet oddly a mouth-kissing father, you.
He's had dinner with many princes and very important people, and he just... Oh my God, what the heck? What did Titus just...
Number 4, Jinder Mahal, or Jeff Hardy. Well, it was Jeff who missed the Whisper in the Wind, but I'm about 1,000% sure that you're supposed to be in a very certain spot to take that move, so I'm going to put the blame on Jinder. It just feels right in my heart blaming Jinder and not Jeff. I don't know, maybe it's because Jeff isn't terrible. Remember earlier how crisp Miz and McIntyre were moving past their botch? Jinder is just about the exact opposite here, as he completely manages to avoid being touched by the falling Hardy, yet still decides, just in case, I'm gonna sell it. In the end, we have Jeff jumping onto nothing and Jinder falling sporadically out of abso-fucking-lutely nowhere. Believe it or not, this too happened in Saudi.
And a whisper in the wind, nobody home! Nobody home! Nobody home! Maybe it was just the impact shook Jinder's knees out from underneath him, I'm not entirely...
Number 3, The Undertaker versus Goldberg.
The power of the dead man, center of the ring. Tombstone pile driver.
I've had to mention this train wreck of a match a few times over the course of the last few videos, and it really just kind of bums me out each time. I'm not gonna lie, you can hear it in my voice. Here's the thing about this match. Yes, obviously it was terrible. These are two absolute bona fide legends. Undertaker and Goldberg, they are both all-time top 5 wrestlers of their respective companies, if not even generations. These are two of the top draws to ever exist, and seriously, if this match happened during the Invasion angle, it would have been pretty fucking glorious probably, but all of the love and respect and borderline worship that some people have for The Undertaker and for Goldberg does not mean they aren't open to criticism. They both openly accepted this match. That's their choice. No one's putting a gun to Taker's head and said he had to go out there, work 9 minutes with Goldberg, and vice versa. This match is just as susceptible to criticism as any other, and because of that, holy jumping fucking shitballs, it was bad, man. It was bad. I don't need to rant and rave. You can see some of these quote-unquote highlights for yourself.
He can't. There's no way. There's no way Goldberg's going to be able to do this to The Undertaker.
No way.
Oh, my God.
Number 2, Ali. Anyone else not used to the lack of Mustafa still? It's really weird, just Ali. Anyways, while he did unfortunately pewter out a bit after an injury, the same one that did in fact lead to Kofi's WWE Championship win, mind you, 2018 Mustafa Ali was absolutely killing it. He was the first wrestler in this recent wave of Cedric Alexanders and Buddy Murphys to be brought up from 205 Live to the main roster, and by far was the best one, picking up pinfall wins over then WWE champ Daniel Bryan during his debut month multiple times. Unfortunately, Ali came pretty close to rendering Daniel out of action for a while after this insane 5-4 went wrong once, with his knee legit smashing into the head of Bryan. I mean, Brie is one lucky girl. It's wild that she didn't injure Liv, but fucking impossible that this didn't result in her husband's second retirement. Like, how did that not happen?
Look out, guys! Oh, 5-4! Cover! Mustafa!
And number 1, The Undertaker versus John Cena. Wow. Lots of news has come out surrounding the whole Taker-Goldberg match and John Cena's opinions on that specifically, but people seem to forget that just 14 months ago, Cena was making his own waves for his incredibly strange Undertaker feud and subsequent Mania matchup, despite the build-up being both weird yet kind of compelling from Cena's angle. The match was just bizarre, a string together of highlight spots you'd see in a full-length match between these two that could have taken place a decade earlier. Instead, Cena versus Taker lasted about 2 minutes and gave us the greatest miss in pro wrestling history. It might not be as bad as Batista's push, but wow, it's close. Please enjoy.
The dead man, and now Taker taking it to Cena. Snake eyes! Followed by the big boot!
And those are 10 embarrassing WWE bloopers to air over the last year or something like that. What are your thoughts? Let us know in the comments down below. After liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and notifications, and that bell.